So we'll start. You shouldn't need your books to start. The most noticeable difference in our sacred space during our month of these holidays, all the way through from this moment until Simchat Torah, is that our Torah covers are changed into white covers. It is a way of reminding us that this is a season of repurifying ourselves, that when we open the ark, that we don't see a variety of colors mixed together, but rather a unified sense of white Torah scrolls. There's one scroll that we don't change, and that is the Holocaust Memorial Scroll. That scroll always remains in the cover that it's in, but we take all of our other scrolls, which is what you're going to help us to do, is to make this moment a moment of change, a moment in which we take that step into being ready for our new year ahead. And so we want to invite those who volunteered to hold a Torah, the four of you who volunteered to make your way up to the bima first. You're going to help us in a moment. We're going to give you Torahs first, and you're going to sit in these chairs. Ken or Kathy will tell you which chairs to sit in, yes, because they're numbered and they're specific, depending on which Torah you hold. And I want to invite Scott Fromson. You guys can go ahead and come on up. You can come on up, sorry. Scott Fromson to join us. He's going to help in passing people the Torahs. And we want our B'nai Mitzvah families are going to stand at these two tables. We're going to change our Torah covers. It's a little chaotic always, and they may need some helpers. Some of you may help them, but if you're one of the B'nai Mitzvah families that's here, come on up. You can find your way around a table and
just to the table, right?
Yeah, just by those tables down there.
You guys go to this table.
While we change our Torah covers, we're going to share a prayer that will be familiar to many of you. It's words that we hear throughout the High Holy Days. Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva chadesh yameinu kakedem. It translates to return again, return to the land of your soul, return to what you are, to who you are, return to where you are, so that you can renew yourself once again. So as we put these new Torah covers for this season on, we'll be promising ourselves that we're entering into a process of renewal for ourselves, for our congregation, for the broader community, and doing so with the Jewish world. So please rise as we open our ark and we prepare our Torahs for the High Holy Days.
Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha, V'nashuva, Chadish, Chadish, Yameinu kekedis, Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha, v'nashuva, Chadish, Chadish, Yameinu kekedis, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha, v'nashuva, Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha, V'nashuvah, V'nashuvah, Hadesh, Hadesh, Yameinu Kekedem. Hadesh, Hadesh, Yameinu Kekedem. Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha, V'nashuvah, V'nashuvah, Hadesh, Hadesh, Yameinu Kekedem. Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha, V'nashuvah, V'nashuvah, Hadesh, Hadesh, Yameinu Kekedem. Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha, V'nashuvah, V'nashuvah, Hadesh, Hadesh, Yameinu Kekedem. Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha, V'nashuvah, V'nashuvah, Hadesh, Hadesh, Yameinu Kekedem. Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha, V'nashuvah, Chodesh, Yameinu kekedem. Hashivenu, Adonai Elah. Hashivenu, kekedem.
Please be seated. Thank you for helping us with that moment. Thank you for helping us get prepared for the moments ahead. We'll begin on page 82. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu tavo lefanecha tfilatenu v'al tit'alam mitchanitenu. God, may our prayers reach your presence. And when we turn to you, do not be indifferent to us. Adonai, we are arrogant and stubborn, claiming to be blameless and free of sin. And yet in truth, we have stumbled and strayed. We have done wrong. Before we share for the first time this season the acrostic, the poem of Ashamnu, in which we touch our chests, I share this poem on a poem on the opposite page, page 83. When I was young and learned the alphabet, life was open to me. A was full of aspiration, B was for beauty, C for confidence, and D for dreams. And so on through the list, no fewer than 26 opportunities and 26 possibilities, and yet I fear that with the passage of time, I've squandered them, creating instead A's of apathy, B's of brusqueness, C's of coarseness. Help me, then, to return to that innocence. Let the letters be letters once again. Let them rise to the heavens and form into the words that you know I wish to say. Please rise as we turn to the bottom of page 82 and share these words we'll hear many times over the next 3 weeks.
Ay, 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 ay,
Ashamnu, Bagadnu, Gazalnu,
Dibarnu
Dofi,
ay, ay,
ay,
ay,
ay, ay, Hevinu, Vihirshanu, Zadnu, Hamasnu, Tafalnu Sheker,
ay, 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 ay,
Yadadadai, Yatznura, Kizavnu, Hatznu, Marahadnu, Niahatznu, Sararnu, Avinu, Peshanu, Sararnu, Kishinu Orev,
ay, 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 ay,
Rashanu,
Shichatnu,
Shichatnu, Tiavnu,
Tainu,
Tainu,
Titanu,
Titanu. We remain standing for a moment as we turn now, page 86. The long confession. This is the prayer that we will in a moment take some time to write our own version of so that we can have our words shared in the midst of this sanctuary. But first, one of the traditional forms. Al chet shachatanu lefanecha bezadon uvishkaga ve'al chet shachatanu lefanecha b'dibur peh. Please respond with the English. The ways we have wronged you deliberately and by mistake, and harm we have caused in your world through the words of our mouths. Al chet shachatanu lefanecha be'imutz halev ve'al chet shachatanu lefanecha b'tifshut peh. The ways we have wronged you by hardening our hearts, and harm we have caused in your world through careless speech. Al chet shachatanu lefanecha b'chachash uv'chazachav ve'al chet shachatanu lefanecha b'irchilut. The ways we have wronged you through lies and deceit, and harm we have caused in your world through gossip and rumor. Al chet shachatanu lefanecha biflilut, ve'al chet shachatanu lefanecha b'zilzul horim umorim. The ways we have wronged you by judging others unfairly, and harm we have caused in your world through disrespect to parents and teachers. Al chet shachatanu lefanecha bidui peh, ve'al chet shachatanu lefanecha b'chonaat re'ah. The ways we have wronged you through insincere apologies, and harm we have caused in your world by mistreating a friend or neighbor. Al chet shachatanu lefanecha b'chozek yad, ve'al chet shachatanu lefanecha b'masa uv matan. The ways we have wronged you through violence and abuse, and harm we have caused in your world through dishonesty in business. Ve'al kulam Eloha Selichot, salach lanu, machal lanu, kaper lanu. For all these failures of judgment and will, God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement. We sin against you when we hurt one another, page 91. For our failures of love, Adonai, we seek forgiveness. For exploiting another for our own pleasures, for the wounds we cause through betrayal and deception, for withholding affection from those we claim to love, and for using love to control our spouses and partners, our children and parents, for abandoning friends and siblings who love has sustained us, and for neglecting those who love us when they need us most, for harboring in our relationships mistrust, boredom, and disloyalty, for rejecting our partner's efforts at repair and renewal, for possessiveness, for jealousy, for avarice, for lashing out in anger at those who are closest to us.
V'yal kulam, Eloha Selichot, v'yal kulam, v'yal kulam, v'yal kulam, Eloha Selichot, v'yal kulam, Stelach lanu, Mechal lanu, Kaper lanu, V'yal kulam, Stelach lanu, Mechal lanu, Kaper lanu, V'yal kulam, V'yal kulam, V'yal kulam, Eloha Selichot, V'yal kulam,
invite you to be seated and to take this time, having now shared Ashamnu, our acrostic poem from Aleph to Tav, all the ways in which we as a people have done wrong in this last year, Al Chait, the ways in which we as people have sinned against those we've loved, the ways we have not lived up to our standards, to now add our own words to these prayers, to take the cards that you were handed as you were walking in, and hopefully writing utensils, which if you don't have one, you can share with maybe somebody who's around you. Take a moment. What are the words that you need to add to these prayers this year? What words need to be said aloud on your behalf as we gather as a congregation over these next few weeks? We'll take a few moments for everybody to write their words. Ask the youngest among us, Paul and Allie, will you collect all the cards? I think people trust you more than anybody else in the room. You'll walk around, and if you've completed your card, our students will collect them, and you'll bring them up to me when you've gotten everybody's. We'll continue on page 99. Hatishma Koli. Will you hear my voice, you who are far from me? Will you hear my voice wherever you are? A voice calling aloud, a voice silently weeping, endlessly demanding a blessing. This busy world is vast, its ways are many. Paths meet for a moment and then part forever. We go on searching, but our feet stumble. We cannot find that which we have lost. Perhaps my last day is already drawing near. Drawing close are the tears of parting. I will wait for you till my days flicker out, like Rachel waiting for her beloved. Page 98.
Shema Koleinu Adonai Eloheinu Chus v'rachem aleinu v'kabel berachamim uvratzon et tfilateinu Hashiveinu Adonai Elecha benashuva Kaddish Yameinu Kekedem Shema Koleinu Adonai Eloheinu Chus v'rachem aleinu וקרבם ברחמים וברצון את תפילתנו כי לך אדוני אכנו עתני אדוני אלוהינו אלוהינו שמע קולנו אדוני אלוהינו חוס ורחם עלינו וקבל ברחמים וברצון את תפילתנו וברצון את תפילתנו וברצון את תפילתנו
On pages 102 and 103, this 12th century poem reminds us that we do not enter into Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur to be judged by our faults alone, but rather to be judged by the way in which our relationships can change us, can mold us, the way we can find in the covenant, in the promises that we have made with those whom we know best, in the promises that we as a people have made with God, that sometimes it is a loving hand that helps to push us just a little bit in the right direction, that it's a loving voice that reminds us where we're supposed to be going, where we shouldn't be going, that these are the works of art and love and not of harshness and judgment. And so we share these words, page 102 and 103, as our invitation to enter these holy days open to those words from those we love most and to moving in better directions as we listen.
כי הנה כחומר ביד היוצר ברצותו המרחיב וברצותו מקצר כן אנחנו בידך חסד נוצר לברית הבית ואל תפן ליצר כי הנה כאבן ביד המצתת ברצותו החס וברצותו מחטאת כן אנחנו בידך מחיים מותת לברית הבית ואל תפן ליצר.
Please join me responsively on page 103. I'll invite you to share the indented line after each paragraph. Consider the clay in the potter's hand, stretched and rolled as the artist desires. So are we in your hand, our loving protector. Consider the stone in the mason's hand, broken or kept whole, as the stonecutter sees fit. So are we in your hand, creator of life and death. Consider the iron in the welder's hand, held to the flame or removed at will. So are we in your hand, provider for the poor and afflicted. Consider the helm in the seafarer's hand, steering or drifting as the sailor wills it. So are we in your hand, our God of goodness and forgiveness. Consider the glass in the glazier's hand, rounded and melted as the artist desires. So are we in your hand, the one who pardons our errors and our wrongdoing.
Ki hine kizchuit bi'al hamsagid b'tzotem echaged u'b'tzotem moged kein anachnu v'yadcha ma'avir tzadon v'shogeg labrit habeit ve'al tifed layetzir labrit habeit ve'al tifed layetzir.
Page 105. Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum V'Chanun. All 5 of those words are names for God. God, compassionate, gracious, endlessly patient, loving and true, showing mercy to the 1000th generation, we ask you now to be open to forgiving evil, forgiving defiance, forgiving wrongdoing, and for granting us pardon. Please rise as we turn to page 112 and stand before the ark. Avinu Malkeinu ha'er lanu et derech hayenu. Avinu Malkeinu, illumine for us the path of our life. Avinu Malkeinu, how shall we find the strength to take the road less traveled by? How shall we come to know the purpose of our existence? How shall we learn not to live life in vain? How shall we get out of our indifference? How shall we distinguish between truth and falsehood? How shall we find the answers to our questions? How shall we gird ourselves with strength to seek answers? Avinu Malkeinu, be gracious to us, answer us, empower us, and give us courage, for the answers are both in you and with you.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu ve'aneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu ve'aneinu, ki en manu ma'asim. Aseh imanu, tzedaka v'chesed. Aseh imanu, tzedaka v'chesed, ve'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu ve'aneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu ve'aneinu, ki ein banu ma'asim.
Please be seated. Before we conclude our service, and in a few moments, hear the sound of the shofar, we turn to page 124. Throughout all of those services that I mentioned earlier, from Erev Rosh Hashanah all the way through Ne'ilah, the very end of the day of Yom Kippur, as you can see in this book, This is just the book we use for Yom Kippur. There's a separate volume, as most of you know, that we use for Rosh Hashanah. But you might want to take a look at this book and find we do almost every page of this book. So you might want to look and see that there are about 680 pages in here. There's a lot of words. But in reality, the purpose of our holidays is to answer one question. You just have to figure out what that one question is for you. And so our tradition has given us hundreds of pages, lists created over the centuries, the questions that others have asked year after year, the questions that people have struggled with for their whole lives, all to help us figure out for ourselves what is the one question I need to be asking this year. And that's what Psalm 27 on page 124 asks us to be able to do. Achat sha'alti, what's the one question? And so we hear these words now as I invite you to start thinking about what is the one question you may need to struggle with, to think about, to focus on as we turn hundreds of pages and say thousands of words. If you know the right question to ask, then hopefully when we come to the end of our holiday season, you'll have started to find your answer. Page 124, we start to think of those questions now.
Achat sha'alti me'ein Adonai, Achat sha'alti otav hakesh, Shivti, Shivti, me'ein Adonai, Shivti, Shivti, kol yamei chayai, lachazot b'noam Adonai, u'akir b'heichaylo, lachazot b'noam Adonai, to gaze upon the beauty of Adonai. One thing, I ask you, Adonai, to be with you all of my life. One thing, I ask you, Adonai, to be with you all of my life. Achat sha'alti me'ein Adonai, Achat sha'alti otav hakesh.
We turn to the page we began just a few moments ago on page 127. Our God and God of our ancestors, the eternal God of all generations, may your presence in our lives this new year renew our spirits and renew our strength. May it be a good year. May it be a sweet year.
Yehi ratzon me'alfanecha, Adonai Eloheinu. Yehi ratzon me'alfanecha, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Shetchadesh aleinu Shana et chadish aleinu Shana Tova Shana Tova Umatuka Yehi Ratzon Milfanecha Adonai Eloheinu Yehi Ratzon Milfanecha Elohei Avotenu Ve'imotenu Renew our spirits Renew our strength May it be a good year. May it be a sweet year.
We invite David Kalish to join us on the bima. Selichot is traditionally done late in the evening. If you're Ashkenazi, if in the Sephardi community, they actually gather really early in the morning. When I was living in Jerusalem, we went and experienced the Sephardic Selichot. They gather every morning in the month leading up to Rosh Hashanah at 5 in the morning. The concept being that we are doing all the work to prepare for our High Holy Days. And there's also a sense of closeness that comes in the evening, a sense that we gather close to those we love, that the world feels a little smaller, more intimate. And so while we began outside and there was still some sun out in the sky, we'll close, as we always do the service, with the sound of the shofar. And we ask that you not speak after the shofar has been blown. That's our way of leaving this space quietly. We have created this sanctuary now ready for the High Holy Days. And so we leave it peacefully. So you'll take your prayer books, you'll exit quietly. You're welcome to talk in the hallway, just sort of go a little far because the words travel easily through that space. And it's a beautiful day. So we'll get to go out into the night sky, and it will be dark. In our congregation, late is 8 o'clock. So this is the latest we gather. But we will get to go out into the peace of the evening, having heard the shofar, having transitioned our sanctuary, having started our holiday season, and hopefully having started the change that happens to each of us and to our community at this time of year. So please rise as we prepare to hear the last sound in this sanctuary this evening, the sound of the shofar.
Tekiah. Shavarim. Teruah. Tekiah Gedolah.